Hello, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I get sometimes requests to play people's games. People say, would you like to play my game or our game that just came out recently? It might be interesting for your channel, for YouTube channel. I have generally avoided playing newer games because I came to understand that, I don't. I'm not always kind when it comes to people's creativity. Many of you might remember what happened when the Quest for Glory 2 VGA remake came out several years ago now. This was more than, gosh, how long ago was that now? This was more than 10 years ago. And I kind of panned the game when it first came out, not because it was even a bad game, but just because I found a lot of things to pick on. And I realized, at the time that I made that video, I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna kind of pick on a few things that I didn't like and just release the video and just be done with it. I didn't really think much of it. But I realized after making that video and seeing some of the responses to it that, when people make these kinds of games, um, the games don't exist in a vacuum. It's not like you can just criticize somebody's game and they're not going to know about it. I mean, the people who made the game became aware of my video, and they were aware that I'd made some negative remarks about their game, and I somehow didn't really think about that. I didn't really see myself in a position because my YouTube channel is not that big. I don't have that many viewers, so I never really saw myself as a person in a position to really make a difference. I don't see myself as an influencer. I think that's actually a stupid word, even though maybe it's not a stupid word. I mean, of course, people have influence. I mean, words matter. The words that you say matter. The things that you say to people or about things do influence people, or at least can influence people. But I never really saw myself that way. I just saw myself as, yeah, I'm just going to say some stuff about the game and be done with it. And it never really occurred to me that the people who made the game would actually see the video and, have an understandably negative reaction to my remarks, because obviously they'd put a lot of time and effort and love into their game, and now they see me just saying some negative things about the game. So I kind of made the decision at that point that for the most part I'll try to avoid playing new games, because I don't really want to be the person to rain on people's parade. And I am by nature a negative person. I know sometimes I don't come across that way, but I tend to be picky. I tend to pick on details. And because old games like this, well, not like this is a new game that just came out, but games of this style tend to be something that I'm very passionate about. I do tend to be also very critical of them because I tend to nitpick on small details. That's just kind of how I am. So, there are a lot of new games. Like I couldn't even list all the new games that, or relatively new games that have come out over the years that people have said to me, why don't you try to play this game? One of the biggest examples, probably the single most commonly suggested or recommended or requested example, is Heroine's Quest. Now, Heroine's Quest is a great game. It is obviously based on the Quest for Glory games. It is a very good game. I have played it. I have mostly good things to say about it, but I also have some negative things to say about it, which is why I've not played it. The main reason why I've not made a Let's Play of it is because I don't want to, negatively criticize a game that I know some people really love, and rightly so. I mean, like I said, it's a good game. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but there are some things about it that irk me, and I realized that people are not really enjoying themselves. People are not really having a good time watching me complain about games that they love. So I've generally taken the policy since then that I will only play games that I like. If I really like a game, then I'll be happy to play it. If I don't like a game, then I'll just not play it, because people are not going to have fun just watching me complain about the game for hours. Um, but this game just came out. Now, you might remember I played the demo of this sometime. I don't even remember when. Was it like a couple of years? It feels like a couple of years ago that I played the demo of this, and I liked it. I said some positive things about it. The maker, Julia Minamata, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her last name not quite correctly, actually saw my video and was really happy and said, I'm really happy that Late Blight played my game and liked my game and all that. So cool. All right, nice. Well, if you've been waiting for this game, as many people have, the wait is over. the Crimson Diamond just came out last month. I'm going to click into the game window so the music can play because I figured I was going to talk for a while, but I wasn't quite sure how long I was going to talk. And as usual, because I am late blight, I ended up talking for longer than I thought that I would. So, what I'm trying to say here is, I chose to play this game because I have some positive sentiments toward it. Nobody asked me to play this game. Julia did not come to me and say, hey, would you like to play my game? I am playing this game totally of my own volition because I'm aware of the game. I'm aware of what a great game it is. And I realized when looking at this game that I had to play this game. Not playing this game is not an option for me. This game is an event. Every now and then something happens in certain fields of media, and it's just like, okay, this is an event. This is something that people are going to talk about for years to come. The release of the Crimson Diamond, this game, last month, August in the year of 2024, is an event in gaming. You will be able to tell your children and grandchildren where you were when the Crimson Diamond came out. Like when they ask you, grandfather or grandmother or grand non-binary person, where were you when the Crimson Diamond came out? You'll be able to tell them, and that will be a point of pride for you because this game is something pretty special. Okay, I might be overselling it, but my point is that I had to play this game. I realized looking at this game that it's just so important to the history of, to the continuing history of adventure games in human society and human culture that, again, not playing this game was not an option for me. I will say, before I begin, that I am still the same person I always was. I am still late blight. That means I tend to be critical of things. I will probably have some negative things to say about the game. Please do not take my criticisms personally, Julia's probably going to watch this. Julia's well aware of my videos. She's actually apparently a big fan of my YouTube videos, which I'm very flattered by. So she's probably going to watch this and to not only to Julia, but also to anybody else who loves this game. If I say anything negative about this game, please don't take it personally. Please don't take it as an attack on you as a person or on whatever you've done with your creativity. I may have some things to say about this because, again, I'm somebody who's been playing this kind of game for like almost 40 years now, and so I tend to be picky about things that happen in these games. I have very positive emotions and sentiments about this game. I've not played this game through, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering. I did not play this game all the way through. I played just like I played it for a few minutes just to see what kind of game it's like, just to make sure that it would run first of all, and then I thought, I have to play this. So I'm going to do something that I have generally not done on this channel. I'm going to play this totally blind, or almost totally blind. Like I played it for a few minutes, but that's it. So I'm going to enjoy the experience of discovering this game for the first time. I want to share this experience with you folks. And that's something that I generally don't do because I know a lot of other people playing this game. I know many other people are playing this game right now, and there are probably people on... I know people on Twitch who were streaming this game. I'm sure there are lots of people on YouTube who are making videos of this game just as I am. So I normally don't play games that are very popular because I normally think, okay, I'm not going to be able to do anything with the game that other people aren't already doing. But I know that a lot of people want to see me play this game. I'm very thankful and flattered that people still watch my channel and want to watch me play games like this. So I'm going to do something that I think I will actually enjoy, which is a rarity for me. And yeah, and I'm going to share this experience with you folks. So, as usual, I talked for too long, but let's go ahead and I'm going to skip the tutorial because tutorials are for... I was going to say tutorials are for weenies, but I shouldn't say that because that might be a derogatory statement. So I'll just say tutorials are for people who do tutorials. I am not one of those people, so I will go ahead and not do that. I'll leave the tutorial boxes on. These are just like pop-up boxes, I guess, that tell you about things about the game. So let's leave those on. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the menu. I like menus. I like having options. Now, one thing I do appreciate about this game is that it has some options, as you can see here. I'm not going to explain all these now. I think I'll wait until we actually get into the game to explain what these options do, but I will say ahead of time that I actually appreciate the fact that these options are here. Some of these options are things that kind of touch on things that are very meaningful and relevant to me personally. So I will, I'll talk about these later once we actually get into the game. So yeah, this is version 1.0 of a very new game. This game just came out like a couple of weeks ago. If you find any bugs, please contact feedback at thecrimsondiamond.com. Should we look at the credits? Let's see. Let's take a look at the credits before we start. So yeah, most of the work was done by Julia Minamata. She put in pretty much most of the effort and work and everything into the game. Oh yes, and as you can see, this is an AGS game. It is a game made in Adventure Games Studio, which is very good because yeah, it tends to be the case with a lot of games like this. There are a lot of testers. You see quite a lot of testers. So basically there was like one person who did most of the work, another person who did you know, some artwork and things like that, and then a huge list of testers and also a huge list of Patreons who contributed financially to the success of the game. Thank you to all these people. Thank you to all of you for contributing to us being able to play this game. And yeah, as I was saying about AGS, Adventure Game Studio, so some of you might also remember a couple of years ago when Space Venture came out, I made a video about Space Venture, and I'm not going to go into details now. Oh hey, the hero of Shapir was a Patreon. Cool, thanks hero. A hero once again. I'm not going to get into detail about what I said about Space Venture because that video is also very long and I said a lot of things which I'm not going to repeat now because it's not very relevant at the moment. But one of the things that I mentioned that I think is very relevant to point out here is one of the things that Space Venture really stumbled on was the use of Unity as a game engine. Unity is a great thing if you know how to use it. It's a very powerful game engine if you know what you're doing with it. It is not very well suited for a small indie team of developers who don't have much experience with Unity. And so where they ran into trouble with making Space Venture, or one of many places where they ran into trouble making Space Adventure, is that they couldn't really get a handle on Unity and the kind of oh yeah, Crimson Tuesday, folks. Julia does, she used to do, I don't know, maybe she still does, regular streams every Tuesday on Twitch, showing things, showing, her doing artwork for the game and things like that. I saw a few of her streams. That's another thing that I really appreciate about this game, that Julia's been very in touch with the community and with her fans. Has been very, very sharing with people about, the process of making the game, showing how she makes the artwork, doing like art streams where she'll actually share, a session of making a scene in the game, like actually drawing the artwork for the game. Really, very, very much connected with her community. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, all the people who have watched Julia's streams on Twitch and kind of given her encouragement, things like that. It's really a great community that's been built around this game. Anyways, I was saying about Unity. So yeah, Unity is great if you know how to use it. It's not great if you're a small team of like 2 or 3 people who don't have much experience with it. And Space Venture is now in the situation where they actually tried to update it, and the whole thing kind of fell apart because there's a new Unity version which isn't really compatible with the version that they were using. A lot of the headaches and problems that Space Venture ran into could have been avoided if they had just used something simpler instead of using Unity, and AGS, Adventure Game Studio, is a logical choice for that. So I definitely think that Julia made the right choice in using AGS for this game, because AGS is, it's relatively simple and it works. It's what people have been using for years and years and years to make games like this. Why break what works? Why break the mold when, something like this works? It was a bold move to use Unity for Space Venture. It didn't pay off. Unfortunately, it really resulted in kind of a debacle, which, again, I'm not going to get into here. Let's go ahead and start the game. Oh, yeah, and I just want to point out, in case it's not apparent, the native resolution of this game is 320 by 200 pixels. Because it's an AGS game. It's a basic AGS game. Its base resolution is 320 by 200 pixels. In the year 2024. That's something pretty awesome. That in itself is pretty cool. Okay, let's go ahead and start playing the Crimson Diamond. New game. So, the game takes place in Crimson, Ontario in the year 1914. Julia is a Canadian. I don't know what it is with... I think I've observed in the past, I don't know what it is with these Canadian people. Somehow, Canadian people are particularly fascinated with retro games, old games. Like, there is a disproportionately large retro gaming scene in northern countries. Yeah, there's the Royal Canadian Museum in Toronto, Ontario, which is where I grew up, or spent much of my childhood growing up. Not in the museum. I didn't grow up in the museum, but I grew up in Toronto, Ontario. I don't know what it is about these people in like northern climates, like people in Nordic countries too, in Europe, like in Finland, Sweden, Norway, places like that. They're fascinated with old games. I don't know what it is about northern climates that make people interested in old games. There you are, Nancy. This is it. What we've been waiting for. Far up north, a fisherman found a massive diamond in the belly of a fish. This could be a real boon for our mineralogy exhibit. We need something better than those dilettantes over in geology. I want our exhibit to be the talk of the town. It's too bad that we can't spare anyone to head up to the middle of nowhere on such a long shot. You could spare me. Let me go, Professor Plummer. So I hope that people will forgive my use of a southern accent. I think it's very, 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 very apparent that this young woman, who is our player character in this game, is basically Laura Bow. She's given a different name, but she's basically Laura Bow. And even though she's supposed to be Canadian, because the game is set in Canada, so I guess she's a Canadian woman in the game. But she is very, 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 very obviously based on Laura Bow, and so I'm going to voice her using that silly sort of southern accent that Laura Bow has. And if anyone has any objections to it, then I apologize. I just find that's something that I find personally amusing to do for the purposes of playing this game. You could spare me. Let me go, Professor Plummer. It would be perfect. Everyone else is busy with the new exhibits. Well, I've just been learning the filing system. That could wait a day or two, couldn't it? I'm not usually in the habit of sending unsupervised young ladies into less civilized regions. But as luck would have it, the discovery was made near a lodge where I'm sure you could stay while you conduct your field work. You win, Nancy. Get on home, pack your bags, and catch the train up north. Hooray! I'm proud of me. Thanks so much, Professor. If you find something that can make a big splash at the museum, who knows? Maybe the university will finally accept you as a mineralogy student. Good luck, kiddo. I won't let you down. And thus begins... Well, not really. I guess the story already began a few hours later. Here's my train. Remember how this train looked in the demo? All that sort of filler artwork? There was like, yeah, our art goes here. Art will come here later. This is it. My first time out of the city. I'm going to make the most of this trip. I can't wait to see the rocks of Northern Ontario. Goodbye, big city. Hello, adventure. Yeah, I remember how unfinished this all was when I played the demo. It's just the amount of work that's gone into this is insane. Really, just a few hours later. It all looks so authentic. It really does look like a 1990 DOS game.
Excuse me, is the seat taken? Not at all. Please have a seat. Thanks. My name is Kimi Kishiro. Where are you headed? Pleased to meet you. I'm Nancy Maple. I'm bound for a town called Crimson. Oh my, you've got some hours yet. I should know because that's where I'm going. I'm a clerk from the Royal Canadian Museum. My boss sent me to check out the diamond claim up there. I hadn't heard of that discovery. Then again, I don't pay much attention to the news. It's a very strange story. Up at Crimson, a fish swallowed a huge diamond. A fisherman caught it, sliced it open, and there it was, this spectacular sparkling gem. Can you imagine? I jumped at the chance to investigate. This is my first time out of the city. I couldn't be more excited. Where will you be staying when we get to Crimson? A place called Crimson Lodge. Ah, I'm staying at Crimson Lodge. I'm a bird watcher. I hear there are nesting colonies of cormorants up there. That's what I want to see. And I wouldn't mind seeing the Sioux Locks while I'm in the area. I don't know what Sioux Locks are, but maybe they're good. I guess there's something interesting to see. I'd love to see the big ships up close. Oh. Locks is in like ship locks. Okay, the locks that ships are transported in. Is that? I guess that's the name. I was wondering, are they actually called Sioux locks? I was going to say, is that like 500 locks? But I think that's an S, not a 5. Wonderful, we can be traveling companions. I'd very much like that. You and Kimi chat amiably for a while as the day wears on, the rhythm of the train moving over the tracks and the monotony of the scenery lulls you into a deep sleep. The conductor announces, Crimson, this stop. Everybody else got off the train. Nancy, it's time to go. Ah, thanks. Oh no, where's my luggage? It's not here. There's no luggage left at all. You forgot your suitcase. You forgot... Oh, wait, no, that was the briefcase. You forgot your briefcase. My field kit's in there. What am I going to do? Actually, she didn't forget her briefcase. I guess it was stolen. Suitcase. She didn't forget her suitcase. It was presumably stolen, unfortunately, because she was asleep. The train will be leaving soon. Nancy, we have to leave now. Ah! I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to voice this. I think I guess she's. I mean, there are many different ways that you could voice these 4 letters and an exclamation mark. I'm assuming that she's kind of saying in frustration something like ah. I guess it's something ah. But I said ah, which probably wasn't quite the tone that was fitting for this situation. Even the cute little, like that little choo-choo sound that they did, it really sounded like something that you would do with an ad-lib FM synthesis card. This is just so perfect. It's so authentic. The graphics and the music and everything really just perfectly capture the feel of early 90s adventure games. It's just, or late 80s, early 90s. It's so well done. It really is just absolutely perfect the way they did it. Oh, I had no idea anyone else was still on the train. Hello there. Hello. I didn't notice you in the train. Isn't that funny? Well, I guess you didn't notice every single person in the train, Laura, or Nancy. I'm going to keep calling her Laura because she's obviously Laura, even though she's Nancy now. Not really. I was in the first-class car. I'm here to see the nesting cormorants. Is that why you're here? Cormorant? Is that a type of rodent? Well, to be fair, honestly, I don't know what a cormorant is either. I'm guessing it's a type of bird. I don't even know. I don't know what a cormorant is either, so I guess I'm as uncultured as that guy. Excuse me, folks, but I was sent to pick up just one person from the station tonight, Mr. Albert Respa, a European fellow, expert mineralogist on assignment, hired by the federal government on loan from Antwerp. I guess Antwerp is in the city in Belgium, not Antwerp is in the blue bouncing creature from Quest for Glory and Hero's Quest.
I wasn't told he'd be bringing any secretaries, wives, girlfriends.
Um, I'm sorry for the confusion, sir.
Jack.
I'm sorry for the confusion, Jack, but we don't know this man at all. My name is Nancy Maple, and my friend here is Kimi Kishiro. I was sent from the Royal Canadian Museum to investigate the diamond claim up by Crimson Lodge. And I'm here to see the nesting cormorants. We're both here to stay at the lodge and go about our business. Do you know which way it is from here?
I surely know where it is because that's where I drove out from. But I'm sorry to tell you, ladies, the lodge has been closed to the public for months. You didn't hear? My boss, Mr. Richards, he's getting on. He's done with the lodging business. All he wants is peace and quiet, but when this whole diamond fiasco starts up, folks all up in arms. He's not pleased at all, I can tell you. This gentleman is here on the government's orders. Mr. Richards can't do much about that. But you two... Well, that's unfortunate, but you only have yourselves to blame for being uninformed. Let's be off, Jack. Good evening, ladies. The thing is, ain't no one's come by here at this time of night. This guy actually talks like a southern accented person, so it's appropriate to give him a southern accent. And the nearest accommodation is the lodge, which is a few hours away by automobile, even still. Look here, I'll drive you ladies up to the lodge for the night. Tomorrow morning I'll bring you back here so you can catch the train. As it is, Mr. Richards is going to be peeved about hosting unexpected guests. I mean, even more than he already is. His sister's come up from the city to stake her claim. And she's brought a lawyer to boot. Come along now. Huh. Just dumps his suitcase on the ground and expects that somebody else will take it. Sure, I'll get those for you. I mean, why does the Belgian guy have to be such a... Okay. Sir, your trunks arrived a few weeks ago. What are those trees doing? Sir, your trunks arrived a few weeks ago, a few days ago. Boy, they sure are heavy. Oh, it's like Steve Dorian from Dagger, Vom and Raw. Boy, this trunk sure is heavy. Wow. That parallax effect that is supposed... those trees in the foreground that are going by, I guess that's supposed to give the impression of scrolling scenery scrolling by, but that is not... Yeah, I'm sorry, that is not a convincing parallax effect. Okay, I think that's my first big criticism of the game. That parallax effect with the trees in the foreground, that is not doing it for me at all. That looks like... I think I understand what they were trying to do, but it is not working. Sir, your trunks arrived a few weeks ago. Oh, I read that already. I got so distracted by the trees, I forgot that I already read the line. Ah, yes, of course.
My, it sure gets dark here at night.
Lucky for you, I've made this trip many times. Used to be folks would come out here in the summers for recreation. And before my time, settlers came to this area in hopes of building lives for themselves. But once the mines were used up, there wasn't much reason for them to stay. The soil ain't that good.
Have you seen any cormorants? I'm hoping to see some.
Yeah, they nest up on the cliffside. Stay away, though. They don't like being disturbed, particularly during nesting season, which happens to be right now. So if you're so wild about birds, I'd let them alone. You do more harm than good. Besides, tomorrow morning I'll be taking you right back to the train station. You won't have any time to go looking for them.
Have any other diamonds been found around the lodge?
First of all, no way to know if that rock even came from around here. I've lived in this area for years and ain't never seen any diamonds, so I know for a fact that it didn't come from these parts. Why did they make him talk like a Southern American? Like, seriously, why did... This guy is supposed to be Canadian as well, I assume, so why did they give the Canadian guy... Well, I guess he might not be Canadian. I mean, people can go to Canada from other places, so maybe he's not Canadian, but... They say that a man cut it out of the belly of a fish. That diamond could have come from anywhere upstream. You folks are wasting your time, sorry to say. Who cares about shiny rocks anyway? No use to anybody. I beg to differ, sir. I mean, okay, they might not have much practical use, but you can sell them for money. We shall see about that. Your travel-weary companions resist your attempt at chit-chat. It seems that Kimi and Albert have fallen asleep, although in the almost complete darkness it's hard to tell. As long as the driver doesn't fall asleep, Jack. As long as Jack doesn't fall asleep while driving, I think we're okay. It's impossible for Jack to hear you from the back seat above the cacophony of the engine and the automobile rattling over the rough country road. You decide we best not to distract him anyway. Yeah, in case it's not apparent, the game is set in, I guess, the 1920s, because, the original Laura Bow game was, Colonel's Request was set around that time. So this is a total, it's a total sort of spiritual successor to the Colonel's Request, obviously, as if that wasn't obvious already. Here we are.
Wow, it's spectacular.
It's just a house, Laura. Nancy. I mean, it's just like it's a nice house, but I wouldn't say it's spectacular. I mean, they must have houses like this in Toronto. They do. They do have houses like this in Toronto. You know what? I almost don't mind having more bodies in the lodge. Feels not so empty. Feels like old times. Make yourself at home while you're here.
Thanks, Jack.
Welcome to Crimson Lodge. I'm going to my room. Miss Kishiro, Miss Maple, your bedroom is upstairs at the end of the hall on the right. The bedroom across the hall from you, that's Mr. Richard's suite. Try to keep quiet and stay out of his way, won't you? He shares his suite with Margot. She's his lady friend. I'm sorry, I just find the use of the phrase lady friend very amusing. I don't know why. It's just not something that people would really say today. I'm in the bedroom right next to yours, along with Mr. Shaw. Albert demanded the use of my bedroom, so that's where he is. Don't know why he was so insistent, but the customer is always right, eh? Ha! That's the smallest bedroom. Wasn't really meant for guests. Nessa's... I don't know who Nessa is. He's just, introducing people that really tell... Okay, fine. Nessa's room is across the hall from Albert. I'd stay away from her if I was you. I guess that's all the introduction we need. Stay away from Nessa. After I get this luggage upstairs, I'm going to start up some supper. Wouldn't do to have you all starve, eh? Why don't you explore the lodge a little? Talk to the other folks. Most important, stay out of my hair. I'm a busy man. Not literally, of course. Yeah, I guess that's a joke. That's a joke about the hair. Oh, and if you want to shower tonight, use the upstairs bathroom near the stairs. It's very pink. You can't miss it. Wonder if Nat's still here. How many places do I got to sit at the table tonight? You and Kimmy head upstairs to your bedroom. You don't have any luggage to unpack, but you hang your hat and coat on the footboard of your bed and consider yourself settled in. Chapter 1, Introductions. Awesome. Just that whole ragtime, it's just so good. The use of the music is just, it's splendid. All this sort of ad-lib style ragtime piano kind of music to set the setting in, the 1920s. It's so awesome. It's just so good. To move Nancy, you can click the feet icon on target destination, or you can use the arrow keys to move.
I should talk to everyone and get to know them a little before dinner.
Your notebook will tell you what you need to do to progress through the game. Type notebook or N when you need to refer to it. When you have lots of notes, click the arrow buttons or press the arrow keys to scroll through them. Essential objectives that must be completed to progress the game will be marked with XXX. Oh, just like, yes, just like, anyway, yes. Type review at any time to check your current goals.
Seeing as I've lost my luggage, I don't have much to amuse myself with before dinner. Perhaps we'll take a look around, time will pass a bit faster.
Type look into the text parser is a good way to get your bearings. Game has auto-saved. And there we go. And thus begins the Crimson Diamond. This is now the first time in the game that I actually have control over the game. And I actually guess I should, I should end the video here because it's already been half an hour, and that's usually the kind of maximum length that I make my videos. But since I'm talking about the game, let me just go ahead and take a moment to point out that this is not a point-and-click adventure. It is a parser-driven game. The only icon that exists really is this walk icon. So you can walk around with the walk icon as you could in early SCI games like King's Quest IV, Space Quest III, and so on. But you don't have look icons or talk icons or, action icons. All other actions other than walking are done with the keyboard. So, the game has a built-in parser. It's a game that only has a parser. That's magnificent. I am I don't know if delighted is quite the right word. I'm surprised that they made a game. I made a video several years ago showing how to incorporate a text parser into AGS, Adventure Game Studio. And the thing is, what I would have done personally is I would have included both. I would have included a point and click interface and the parser on top of that, because why not? You can have both. And I showed that in my video. But Julia has actually chosen to make the game parser only. All actions are done with the text parser. That's one of many reasons why I felt like I had to play this game. It's a parser-driven adventure, and I have always been very vocal in my advocacy for parsers in adventure games. And the fact that Julia made a parser-driven adventure game was one of many reasons why I thought, I got to play this. I have to show this to the world because this is something very special. I'll talk more about the game's user interface, and I'll get to all those options that we saw. I'll get to those in the next video. But for now, this has been the introduction to the Crimson Diamond. Hope that you've enjoyed watching, folks. I will catch you folks next time. We'll play more of the game and see more of the stuff and things that there are to see in this old lodge. Until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves, folks, and I will talk to you all later. Ta-ta for now.